Guan Chong Berhad is on a uptrend in terms of share price. What's happening?
Yeah, so if you look at cocoa, the cocoa bean USD per ton, it has actually reached at its pretty high price at around 11,000 USD per ton.
2024 was a pretty good year for the stock market, but many are predicting in 2025 there's going to be a market crash. Predicting is one thing, but knowing how to take advantage of it is more important. What kind of stocks to buy? How to protect your portfolio in a downturn? These are some of the questions you need to ask during market chaos. That's why I'm organizing a free training session to share with you how to do it. 10 February, 8:30 p.m. See you there.
This high was actually similar to the April 2024. And this is actually the 24 years high. Like it has never been this at this elevated level.
So if you overlay both charts, they pretty much do the same, right?
Yes, correct. So you can notice also when cocoa price go up, then Guan Chong also like go up for some reason. Maybe because they think that profits can be improved. Now, the reason why cocoa prices are going up is because there's a tight supply by these two countries, which is the world leading producer for cocoa beans, Ivory Coast and also Ghana. The main one is obviously Ivory Coast. They have about 45% of the world's cocoa. And they have been reported that, because of the climate change and also weather, some also they say that it's related to the producer. They are not incentivized to actually plant more. So all of these factors are actually resulting a lesser production volume in these two countries. Now, how bad is the production, right? There's a shortage of 700,000 tons for 2025's demand. And also, there is this thing called the cacao swollen shoot virus.
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically some sort of disease that is affecting the trees that they cannot.
What does 700,000 tons mean? Like, how much do we import?
Yeah, so basically the demand right now is said to be around like 5.1 to 5.2 million tons
annually.
Yeah, but right now the production is around like 4.6.
Wow. So you're looking at almost 15% short of supply. Yeah.
Yes, correct. So has something to do with the supply sides. And number 3 is that according to Guan Chong, many small competitors are closing shop because this processing business is actually very tough. If you just look at the margins of Guan Chong's, right, it's very tight margin. It's like low teens, or maybe like 5% only or so. So what more can a small competitor do, right? Most likely they will be bleeding money. The reason why they are bleeding money is also have to do with logistic costs, because to ship from countries like Ivory Coast, you have to ship those cocoa beans to the country to process, then need to go to like the European countries where they buy. That's the major buyers, which is the European countries. So yeah, all these are actually like potential catalysts for GCB at the moment. And just now we've been talking about GCB, and if you didn't know, their business is they are a cocoa ingredient production, where they produce products like cocoa liquor, butter, and also solids. So these are the images that you can see over here. And they are also an industrial chocolate maker. So basically what is industrial is basically things that can straight away use the ingredients and then you can make whatever final product. So that's like your chips and chunk, liquid chocolate, or even specialties. So you can see like this is the operating countries that they have. Malaysia, Indonesia, Ivory Coast, Germany, and also the UK. And fun fact, they are the 4th largest cocoa ingredient producer in the world. So that's how large Guan Chong is.
Too busy to find stock ideas? Check out Fiverr Pro to shortcut your research time and effort by 90%. 10% off link in the comments and description.
Now, you can see that these are the top 4. So the 4 is Guan Chong. Who are the top 3 is basically Barry Callebaut, Cargill, and also Olam International. Now, you see like names like Nestle, Mars, Mondelez, they are all like chocolate manufacturers rather than processors.
Yeah.
So they buy the ingredients actually from these top 4. Even the top 1 right now also is buying some from Guan Chong. So you can say that the competitor also is like buying from each other. Yeah. Now you can see the numbers, linear growth, especially for
but the profit is question mark, right?
Yes, correct. But this one is just the 2023 figure. The 2024 figure is around 216 million profit.
Okay.
Yeah, which is not updated in ticker. And also, I believe the revenue is around 7 billion, if I can recall correctly. So basically, 2024 number is good. 2025 number is even going to be better, according to GCB. And you look at their assuming this is like 216, I just visualize it, is similar to the times in 2019 and also 2020. That is the time where actually COVID happened, and then there's a lot of supply chain disruption. That's why the prices of profit margins.
But
are
even if
increasing.
they hit 216 million today, the margins are actually lower.
Yes, correct. Yeah,
Right.
the reason also is because of the logistic costs, which we'll talk about later. So we are on to the logistic.
Net debt. Okay.
They are in the net debt, and there's a reason why they're in the net debt. And if you look at the short-term debt, it's actually approximately around like 70% of the total debt. Now I put here floating. So what does floating mean? So for Guan Chong to actually ship their products, right? They need to go through some ships to go to the sea. So floating, this means is that they purposely put most of their product in bulk onto the ship, and it's now floating.
Oh,
because it's like stuck there. I mean, they cannot like.
So that's
really
why they need the cash flow to tahan. Otherwise, because they cannot sell the thing.
Yeah.
Basically.
So they basically have to pay about like 300 million upfront to the shipping guys just to keep the cocoa bean floating on the sea. That's about it. So when I was like actually listening to the briefing, I was like quite shocked. It's like, wow, a lot of people need to pay money just to like keep their products floating.
All this for declining margin business. Anyways.
Yeah, and the next reason why is their dividend payout reducing is because it has to do with their cash flow. Their cash flow right now is a little bit choppy, but according to them, they say expect cash flow to be easing, means it could be improving. But it's a right move for them to not pay dividends because operationally it's already very tough already. I mean, you have to keep your products floating on the sea, and then you also need to expand your business. You need to pay all of those working capital. So it makes sense for them to not pay out dividend. I would say this is a right move that they did. Now, this is the catalyst for Guan Chong. Basically, they are in talks to buy a 25% stake in Ivory Coast Cocoa Outfit. So this is going to be a joint venture with a government-linked company in Ivory Coast, which is called Transcal CI. And they actually paid about 130 million cash for this 25% stake. So what does that mean with this joint venture is that potentially they can produce up to 250,000 tons. Now this capacity for 40 to 60,000 is basically the JV link with this Transcal CI. So if you add this new capacity with their existing, it's most likely going to be more than 80% increase for their existing factory. And this contribution will come at the end of 2025. So what all of this means is basically there will potentially maybe more sales volume, assuming the demand is still strong, which means the 2025 to 2026 figure will most likely be another record year for them.
Okay.
So this is a catalyst for Guan Chong. Now, final thoughts is that this management, it has a very interesting accent, but then, but he's also, from what I can feel, is that he's quite shrewd in terms of running this business. He's very careful with his capital allocation. He knows when to not please the shareholders. I mean, in order to keep the business running.
The dividends, for example.
Yeah, the dividends. And also another thing, it is he is not afraid to say that now is not the good time to pay off the debt, because he's using the debt to leverage on time only, and also to keep the products on float, so that they can actually deliver the product on time to their customer. So that's also another good thing. The second one is their expansion towards the Ivory Coast, which is the joint venture, is actually close proximity to their customer. So their customer is actually mainly from the European country. So it is over here to over here, somewhere around here. Yeah. It's only like short distance as compared to like Malaysia and also Indonesia. You have to ship. I think it's because this is like the Red Sea, right? So they have to go all the way here. Last time it took them like few weeks only to ship. Now they took them like more than 3 months or 6 months.
That's right.
Yeah. So positioning into Ivory Coast, I think that will give them a better in terms of like logistic costs. Managing that cost. Now, a third one is basically oversupply. There's also a lot of spook in the market that this high price is not sustainable, because once more planters start to like plant more cocoa trees, I think that should like kind of like suit off the shortage, right? But it's also not so easy, because it takes like at least like maybe 1 year or so to actually see that the cocoa whether does bear fruit. That is actually for your mature trees. And also it's also another reason why the customers are not like buying forward. Because usually the customers will buy forward like 3 to 6 months without worry. But right now, because the price is so at the elevated level, so they're being careful and they're just buying spot all the way. So yeah, it could be an oversupply risk in the future, but we still don't know how. But so far, the GCB, they predict that this shortage is going to be last around like maybe 2 years or so. Now, last one is, I don't know why I put this image here, 20 times PE.
Yeah,
So,
that seems for a commodity as company quite on the higher side.
yes, it's on a premium.
But why? The question is, why do people value it highly? And I think it's because I wouldn't say they're dominant position, but certainly they are a mainstay in the cocoa industry.
Yes, correct. So it has to do with their increase in production capacity, and also right now you have a higher average selling prices, which is your cocoa price bin. So yeah, all of these are actually giving them a higher premium valuation. And assuming that cocoa prices remain elevated or even go up, according to the CEO, he thinks that cocoa prices still can go up to maybe like 18K.
Okay.
He say he will be not surprised if we go down up that
Let's
price.
see.
But yeah, we shall see. So yeah, all of this information is actually shared inside our FirePro management notes. So if you guys didn't know, we have about 302 management notes in FirePro at the moment.
Counting, yeah.
Yes, and this information that I shared to you throughout this video is only like probably 40 to 50%. So if you want to know the balance, there's actually more that I didn't really talk about. It's all inside these management notes over here. And yeah, that's another fun fact. Every cocoa tree that produces 1,000 beans a year, only enough to make 1 kg of chocolate.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a fun fact that I've learned also during the briefing. So yeah, if you want to know all of this information, it's inside FirePro.
Check out FirePro. It's a community for investors to shortcut their research journey. How do they do it? Through short, sweet, and simple write-up. So they learn the company really fast. They know what matters, what don't, the gist of things. And then they can go to the decision-making stage faster and they're more confident, things like that. And they also have a reference portfolio. You can see the portfolio performance here on where they should be, how they can allocate their money, how they can allocate the stocks, how many stocks, how do they refer. They can see how a systematic portfolio should look like. If you want to get a sense of what these write-ups are, check out the free sample. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.